Hey, welcome back to the channel, Rugby Merlin, and this is my review of Scotland versus France. So some interesting changes for Scotland in particular, I think, coming into the game. Gilchrist and Dempsey come in. Gray is injured in the second row. So Dempsey and Gilchrist actually played really well, and they added a much needed physicality, I think, to the Scottish pack, and worked very well for them. They both played really exceptionally, I think. It was always going to be interesting to see how the French started after that huge disappointment last week. And yeah, they did pretty well. There was a lot of physicality from both teams, some big hits and nice hard running from the French and the Scottish too, to be honest. Scotland had the tactic of box kicking quite a lot. It was very slippery ball. Both teams dealt with it pretty well, but France do spill a catch and turn the ball over, and Patterson has a barnstorming run when Scotland spin it wide, and he has men outside and inside. He makes a great decision and feeds the ball inside to Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones, another inside pass to the scrum half on that classic scrum half support line, and Scotland get over for the first try of the match. The French heads haven't dropped though, and some great running and defence from Aldrit, the captain, who had by his standards, a pretty quiet game against the Irish. Wasn't allowed to play much, but he did a fantastic job, and it was great to see him, because I really do rate him as a number 8, and he had a great first half. Unfortunately, he went off injured later in the game, but he really led the French defence in particular, and had some great meters. Hard yards that he earned for the French side, and he really grabbed his pack by the scruff of the neck and pushed them on. So great play from him. France forced the penalty from the Scottish defence, and yeah, 7-3. Again, from the restart, the momentum shifts back to Scotland, and they put the French under an awful lot of pressure. They opt to kick for the line out rather than take the points. They get another penalty, and then they call the move. You can hear on the mic, the Dragon, unleash the Dragon. And I was thinking, oh, what have they got up their sleeve here? You know what I mean? What an awesome name for a set move. And basically all it was tap and go by the forwards. So a bit underwhelming. They made me laugh a little bit, but yeah, Scotland eventually take the 3 points, and yeah, they in the lead going into halftime. So good half for them, but France are definitely in it. So just before the halftime whistle blew, France actually got a player binned for a shoulder charge, Antonio, which was a fair decision, I think. But France are down to 14 men now for the opening of this second half. Scotland playing well, and Tuipulotu in the centre. He looks extremely powerful and extremely quick off the mark. And yeah, he's making great yards for Scotland. Scotland are putting the French under more and more pressure, but a key turnover from Aldrit, which really saved the French, I think, in that period of play. But unfortunately for him, he twists his knee or something, and something happens, and he's stretched off, but he looks all right. So hopefully it's not too serious, because he did have a fantastic game up until that point and was France's player of the match by a long way. So France, who've played with pretty slow ball this match, and have had to work hard for every yard that they made, bring on Lagaric, the youngster, and he makes an instant change to the French attack and ups the tempo incredibly, and they look like a different side when he's on. So in my book, he's definitely cemented his start for the next game. Well, he should have anyway from that performance. And also the winger comes on as well, the youngster. And France now with a bit more zip in their step, so looking good for them. Scotland do wrestle back the momentum again though, so hard work from them. And they get a penalty and they kick it, and it's 16-10. So even at this time, with like 25 minutes to go, you can see it's going to go down to the wire, and it's going to be a very close finish. Unfortunately for the viewing audience and the audience at Murrayfield, the game devolves. Both teams kind of step back and get into a bit of kick tennis, and apparently there's been a rule change where the players don't have to retreat, and they can stand still until the player advances, the receiver of the ball advances 5 meters, and this actually kills the game dead for about 15 minutes, and it's just literally the I think Ramos and Finn Russell kicking the ball back and forth to each other, and everyone else is just standing stock still in the middle of the field. And it's a bit of a disaster, really, in the crowd. There's a few jeers from them, and rightly so. I think it's a ridiculous rule, and I think it needs to be changed like as fast as possible, because we can't have that. They're trying to attract people to the sport, and it was an absolute mess for a long period of time in the second half. And Scotland, who are looking for a mistake from France, don't get it, and France go on the attack, and Biarri, the youngsters, come on in the wing, shows what he can do. Lovely little infield chip, which he chases himself because he's lightning quick. Picks it up and scores, and basically that opened up the game now, and the kicking stops finally, and France take the lead 16-17 with about 10 minutes to go. So the Scottish liner, which has worked really well all game, they throw it to the back and it gets turned over near their own line, and France pile on the pressure, and the Scotland, who have been pretty disciplined all game, haven't conceded that many penalties compared to last week. They do concede, and France kick it, and now it's 20 points to 16, and there's not a lot of time left now, 5 minutes, and you feel like, have Scotland missed the opportunity? They backed off a little bit when they could have pushed on to kill France off, and is it going to cost them? So Scotland, a bit of inventiveness from the restart. They do like a 7-style restart, regather it, and trying to fling it wide. And Carl Rowe's under pressure. France is steaming up. He steps a couple of men, and then a great break. And he has no support though. I don't know where the support. They were all sleeping, watching him. I think his run was so good. I think the players were just watching with the audience, with the fans. But yeah, he spills the ball, unfortunately, when he's tackled, and turnover, France ball, scrum time, and it looks like they're just going to run the clock down. So it looks like at this point it's done for Scotland. As France slowed the ball down though, Russell reads it fantastically, storms in from his position, and steals the ball from the base of the ruck, and is unbelievable. So Scotland have the ball now, and there's seconds left on the clock, and they just pile it forward. Desperate defense from France, and I'm thinking like, Scotland gonna spin it wide, you know, someone like Hugh Jones or Van der Merwe on a good line in midfield. They don't, and they keep it tight, and they try and barge their way over, and they do get over the line, but it's held up. And this is the last play of the match, and the referee looks at it and says, no try, but let's go to the TMO. And I'm thinking, oh no, the result of the game, the last play of the match, is going to be decided by the TMO. This is not really what we want, but I got to admit it was dramatic. So it's a very close call, and I don't envy Brian McNeice and the TMO, who has to make the decision to decide the match. But you've got to say, yeah, it was touch and go, and it could have gone either way, and I don't think either team could have objected too much. But ultimately, the referee's on-field decision was no try, and I think that swayed the TMO's decision. So no try, and France take a hard-fought victory, and one I think that they really needed, and the relief on the French players' face was obvious. And I think a very, very big win for them. Scotland, on the other hand, the game was there for the taking. That 20-25 minute period of kick tennis, I think, cost them a lot more than it cost France. They were in the ascendancy, and I just feel like they should have put their foot on France's throat and attacked more, because their backline, and it was proven again in this game, when they get things together, when they start humming, when they start purring, they are very, very dangerous and can score against anybody. So opportunity missed for Scotland, and France relief more than anything. And dramatic game, not like Scotland at all to have a dramatic finish to a game. This seeming to become their specialty. But yeah, pretty enjoyable game. But that second half, the 25 minutes was dire, and something needs to be done quickly about that, because we can't have that happening every match. It'll be a catastrophe. So yeah, thank you for watching the review. We're almost at 1,000 subs, so like and subscribe to the channel and push me over the top. Thanks for all your support, and I'll see you for the next review. All right, cheers, bye bye.